Story we're following here on the News at 5 today. Austin police officer Christopher Taylor's fate is now in the hands of a jury. Closing arguments in that murder trial wrapping up about 10 minutes ago.
Now, Taylor is the Austin police officer who shot and killed Michael Ramos outside a Southeast Austin apartment complex in April 2020.
After hearing 3 weeks of witness testimony and watching hours of body cam video, a jury will now make a decision on whether Taylor should be convicted of murder.
Each side took about an hour and 15 minutes to make their final arguments to the jury.
KVUE's Isabella Basco joins us live from the Travis County Courthouse. Isabella, how did those closing arguments go today?
Well, throughout these 3 weeks of witness testimony, Brian and Ashley, the jury has been given a lot of information when it comes to policing practices, procedures, and the events leading up to that shooting. The day kicking off with the jury visiting the parking lot where the shooting took place in 2020. This happening at the state's request. After lunch, the state kicked off closing arguments with prosecutor Dexter Guilford saying Michael Ramos was entitled to rely upon the sacred oath that Taylor took when we entrusted him with his rifle and ammunition. He says there's such a thing called generally accepted professional practices in policing, and one of its hallmarks is to attempt to standardize a number of things, including the discretion to use force.
You are responsible for all of your shots. What are they telling you? They're telling you, you think about all this before you take a shot. Otherwise, a man like Mike Ramos is dead, and all you can say, all that can be said is that that was a bad decision. That was his choice.
After Guilford wrapped up, attorney Doug O'Connell began closing arguments for the defense, saying that this case is about one thing, whether Taylor's perception of the threat was reasonable. He says this may be a tragedy, but it's not murder.
The police officers you met in this case, including Chris, followed their training, did everything they were expected to do, and it's simply unfair that these prosecutors will sit in our office building scrutinizing every second of a body cam and second guessing what officers have to do out on the street. This whole case was a political prosecution from the very beginning.
O'Connell going on to say no one is saying officers are above the law, but if the jury convicts Taylor on the evidence in this case, he says they can reasonably expect officers will hesitate in the future. Now, we've just been told that the jury is going home for the night, but we expect them to deliberate tomorrow morning, and then we'll keep you posted on a verdict. Brian and Ashley?